It's been a minute since I've asked you guys to subscribe. Almost 6 out of 10 people watching this right now have not hit the sub button yet. I try not to annoy you guys too much by always asking, but it really helps out the channel a lot. Therapist, Polish Easter food isn't real. It can hurt you. Meanwhile, Polish Easter food. I feel like it's gonna suck the life force out of my body. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this doesn't necessarily make me feel festive for Easter. Kinda makes me feel the opposite. Ugliest European fortress versus prettiest American fortress. It's like we just built a sandcastle at the beach for 2 hours. I'm going to assume this thing probably took a lot longer to make. Here's the Americans' response though. A European fortress versus an American super fortress can evaporate cities with the power of the sun. Oh, I think Japan knows all about this thing. Me returning to my 15-pound chunk of uranium-235 after 700 million years to see that it has now been reduced to 7.5 pounds. What? Wait, what is uranium's half-life again? Oh, it's exactly about 700 million years. So initially this guy had 15 pounds of uranium-235, but as the years have gone on, it's now reduced to 7.5. If I had a nickel every time that happened to me. Ladies, one at a time. I don't even think I can say. One at a time, please. Man, I bought this a couple years ago. You have no idea. I'm having to fight people off. No, you can't sleep with my Countryball blanket. Get out of my house. I'm just kidding. I'm so lonely. That's seriously how it is, though, except, like, I have all these Countryball plushies everywhere in my house. The ladies love it. Percentage of the population that can hold a conversation in Icelandic. So less than 1% of the population in Spain and France can hold a conversation in Icelandic. Less than 1% of Turks. Less than 1% of Romanians. Less than 1% of German, Polish, Dutch. Who could have guessed this? The only place that can speak Icelandic is Iceland. And even they're not at 100% completely. People don't respect the old languages anymore. The Nordic countries and their beautiful languages. Poop and fartin in Swedish means the poop speed. Poop and fartin in Finnish means I poop fart. Poop and fartin in Danish means the poop trip. That sounds exciting. And the poop and fartin in Norwegian means the poop cruise. Oh, that's even better. Didn't think it could get any better than the Danish version. I'm immediately gonna go to Norway and ask, where is the closest poop and fartin? I had no idea how much knowledge I had of the Nordic languages already. Australians having to pay $70 to see a doctor with our free healthcare. Meanwhile, Australian government spending $300 billion on submarines instead. Australia do be loving their submarines, that's for sure. I've been hearing about those submarines everywhere. This is my neighbor, Slovenia, says Croatia. Unlike my other neighbors, he is very cool. Love you too, Croatia. Oh, finally, a wholesome meme out of this format. These two really are besties, aren't they? Not having a sea coast at all, Serbia. Having sea access, but no direct access to international waters, Slovenia. Having sea coast, but not being able to reach your shore with big ships because your neighbor built a bridge over it that's too low. That's how the mega mines in Bosnia do it. Wait, okay, so not only did the Croatians hog almost all the coastline away from Bosnia, but they also built a massive bridge that doesn't allow Bosnia to have any giant boats go through. To be fair, it is pretty long. I mean, you can still fit some boats. Okay, probably a lot of boats. But it's fair to say Bosnia probably won't be having any battleships anytime soon. Then again, why would you need a battleship when you only have 12.4 miles of coastline? I love the way this article phrases it. Croatia opens massive bridge bypassing Bosnia. Gotta make sure your people don't have to step foot in Bosnia. Moldova's economy versus Moldova in Eurovision. Oh man, they're grooving. I'm pretty sure the entirety of the Moldavian government spending went to this guy. April 1805, Napoleon is master of Europe, only the British fleet stands before him, oceans are now battlefields. Least patriotic Brit I've ever seen, Britannia rules the waves. I really need to watch this movie. Visiting your favorite city at age 21? No, how about conquering your favorite city at age 21? Man, I'm so far behind. I haven't even conquered a village yet, let alone a city, and I'm way older than 21. I should probably start by just like conquering my neighbor's house. I'm gonna throw Countryball plushies at him. Europeans thinks a settlement that is barely 2,000 years old is old. Me, an Australian, knowing that unless your culture predates farming, then it's just a passing fad. Finally, the Australians have figured out a way to overcome the Europeans' argument for what is truly old. We here in the US didn't have any rebuttals for it. Predate farming, that's the only way. The meaning behind the colors of the German flag. Black equals work, red equals work, yellow equals work, and blue equals humor. Yeah, nothing is funny to the people in Germany. This is why I'm convinced, though, that some of the funniest people ever come out of Germany, though, because their audience audience is always just stone-faced, so one German making another German even just crack a smile is like a massive accomplishment. Herder, you guys have much crimes in your cities, says this American to these European guys. At least I can protect my family with my semi-automatic. Ireland gives him a thumbs up, and oh, he gave me a thumbs up. It means they think I'm correct. He's probably gonna keep on blabbing over here. Meanwhile, these Europeans literally do not care. They're like, believe whatever you want, just stay away from our continent. Basic Octoberfest, actually mostly in September. Expensive as frick, sit, drink beer, turn fat, soy jack versus epic water battle is on the Easter Monday. Big water guns become base Chad warrior. Kids can participate. The very first Polish person I met traveling through Europe, I immediately asked about this. I want to be here so badly for it. Probably like a war zone out there. Gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to inform you that today is the 23rd of March, the Polish-Hungarian Friendship Day. What a lovely, lovely holiday. I feel like we should have more honorary country friendship days. This is my neighbor, Hungary, says Poland. Unlike my other neighbors, he is very cool. Love you too, Polska. I feel like as of recently, the relationship has been through a little bit of turmoil, but overall, they're still besties. South Korean couples showing affection in public, but not so much behind closed doors. Japanese couples showing not the greatest thing in public, but much more affection behind closed doors. Finally, there's Chinese couples where there's just not much affection at all. No matter if it's in public or not in public, this is just what's gonna happen. Every day I discover more and more new lore. The state of Texas saying, you took everything from me. Meanwhile, the Californian Texan, where buy avocado? We don't really care where is avocado. We need it for our toast. Yeah, Texas is not a very big fan. Me convincing non-Americans to despise North Carolinians. Hey, you random guy from Moldova, despise this random US state. I'm just trying to think, where does OP come from? I don't think it's South Carolina. I bet you they come from Virginia. Doesn't Virginia and North Carolina have a bigger rivalry? The Chick-fil-A Theocracy begins its invasion of the Emirate of Sonic. It is the lone Sonic nation too. I have no idea how they're gonna survive this. Actually, I think the Sonic Empire fell a long time ago because this map is really out of date. More recently, it looks like it could be something like this. Chick-fil-A is literally on a mission to take over every single state. In what world though has In-N-Out become more popular in Texas and not in California? Has Cane's really taken over that much? I'll be honest, I'm probably working for the enemy. I would choose Chick-fil-A over everything here. Everyone, French people are doing a good thing and demonstrating. Meanwhile, the Germans pray and work, don't be lazy, pay your taxes, and be quiet. Least surprising thing out of Germany I have ever seen. It is a little bit weird that it's just like written on this random fence though. Imagine retiring. Finland and NATO showing an article that says NATO Hungarian parliament ratifies Finnish membership. Meanwhile, the Russians. NATO's just gonna keep on getting closer and closer. Kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? The Charlie, the Leo, the Abrams arriving in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the T-54s in the Donbass. There has been news that Russia is breaking out these very old tanks to send to Ukraine because maybe they don't have anything else. These things were literally around during WW2. So that tells me it's not going very well over there. M1 Abrams Cost, 6.2 million US dollars versus a Trebuchet Cost, which is like 11,000 US dollars. Do you really think one Abrams is better than 541 trebuchets? Maybe this person has a point. Is this Russia's plan now? There's a lot more than just one of these M1 Abrams, so they're probably gonna need like maybe 20,000 of these trebuchets. But man, once they build them, they're gonna be unstoppable. Guys, what if the armor is so thin, Abrams rounds just pass straight through them without damage? Oh my goodness, we didn't think about this before. Maybe that's a part of the plan. The armor is gonna be like paper thin, pretty much making them impervious to everything. 3,000 IQ level play. The Powerpuff Girls last episode aired on April 2nd, 1986. Spy Kids recently celebrated its 40th year anniversary. Crash Bandicoot came out in 1923. Meanwhile, Pokemon Blue and Red have been out for 146 years. Man, I'm getting so old. I remember just after WW1 going into a Target and picking up a Crash Bandicoot game. Of course, it was black and white back then, but man, it was so worth it. Today, we're learning about Wall Street. When the revolution comes, where will you hide? I think she's definitely asking the real questions here. Let's see what his answer is. I like frogs. Me too. Oh, look, now they're getting married. Oh, wait a second. No, it's just a dream. Oh my goodness, my heart is broken. I actually seriously considered getting a frog as a pet, like maybe last year. I realized like frogs eat other frogs, and that kind of disturbed me for some reason. Maybe I'll still get a frog, but I don't want to feed my frog frogs. The US in both world wars. Oh, there it is. Took us a minute to kind of show up to the party, but once we did, had to introduce ourselves. It is weird that we did that in both World Wars. Guess we had to be fashionably late. Details that can save your life. In Croatia, make sure you hold the number 3 with your index, middle, and ring fingers. In Serbia, make sure you hold the number 3 thumb, finger, and middle finger. I like how I did this with my hands literally one time and just everyone went crazy. Serbian nationalist disrespects all of Croatia. But yeah, there's a pretty big difference. Now, the original meme actually includes the British and Germans. This is actually from a Quentin Tarantino movie. Very important to know how to say the number 3 in different countries. It really could save your life. Maybe it's just best to not even say 3 ever. Even this can get you in trouble. When you find out Harold is actually from Hungary, that's why he is in pain. And not just in pain momentarily, it's why he's constantly in pain. That's why behind every photo he has these sad eyes. It all makes sense now. Oh yeah, born in the Kingdom of Hungary. I didn't even know. I thought he was British or something. A summary of what it's like to be from Uruguay. Brazil likes you. Argentina likes you. And you're just like, whatever. They're both happier that you exist than even yourself. You're kind of like both of their little brother. It's time to settle this once and for all. There can only be one monkey. What? Mexico and Brazil are fighting. Meanwhile, I'm guessing these are other Latin American nations, putting bets and cheering them on. Who's gonna come out on top? Monkey of the jungle versus monkey of the desert. NASA, when Congress accidentally adds an extra 0 to their budget. How exactly will... Oh, we should do more ocean launches. I don't know why we don't do that in general. It seems pretty safe, although how does the jet propulsion work underwater? Does that not cause any issues? No, I guess it doesn't. It looks like it works pretty much just fine. Is it still going? Oh my goodness, it's still going. What is this even from? And why haven't we built it yet? Please tell me we have this by 2030. That's got to be the rocket that sends us to Mars, right? Oh, this is known as the Sea Dragon, and it was conceptualized in 1962. They really did intend for it to do this. How expensive would that be? I'm assuming it wasn't very practical. I think that's probably safe to say, actually. We couldn't do it back in the 60s, but I bet we could do it now. Defense analysts picking on a title for their paper on China without using dragon or a tiger. This is just any headline writer trying to use some sort of metaphor for China. Dragon, tiger, that's pretty much all there is. And big thanks to my patrons. Drew, I forgot to kidnap you. Next date is March 19th, 2023 at 6:30 Boy, do I love Arby's.
Drew's Eritrean grandma.
Portugal is not
Drew's
Balkans.
Argentinian
$20
grandpa.
is a lot, Drew.
aPhatNarwhal.
Bryton is the
Caleb,
best. The Mexican
Mexican
760.
Jack Traven's annoying friend.
JohnDenver,
LuxembourgLover.
Phresh
Phresh
Animations.
Animations.
The
The
Weekend.
Weekend.
The Great
The
Commonwealth.
Thwick and
Carmel
Hamster.
and ZaneyBoi.